With the Nintendo Switch nearing the end of its lifespan, now may be the best time ever to consider just how rare some of the games are in your Nintendo Switch collection. So far, I've covered a total of 30 other Switch games across 3 different videos in this series on my channel, ranging from elusive JRPGs to risque visual novels, and even the rarest game of them all, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about another 10 Nintendo Switch games which may be rare and also in your collection. Okay, so the first game on this list is Another Code Recollection. This is a double pack of Another Code 2 Memories and Another Code Journey into Lost Memories, which were both games on the Nintendo DS and the Nintendo Wii respectively. So in the Another Code games, you take the role of Ashley Mizuki Robbins, and the main goal and objective is to uncover her past and find the truth behind what happened to the fate of her parents. Another Code is a bit of a hybrid when it comes to genres, mixing elements from visual novels, puzzles, adventure, so you'll be running around and solving puzzles and riddles to be able to progress further in the game. Now yes, I do realize that Another Code Recollection is still fairly new, so the prices aren't too crazy yet. However, this is a duology that I would keep an eye out on, as I believe it is something that is going to be rare in the future especially. So at the moment, going current prices for Another Code Recollection is about $100 AUD and also $60 USD. So I would say that the American pricing hasn't really budged too much. However, over here in Australia, it has gone up a few extra dollars, and I'm not sure if this is a game that Nintendo is going to be reprinting anytime soon. It is a little bit on the more obscure side, so definitely keep an eye out for it. I do think it's going to be fairly rare in the future. So the second game on this list is Ori the Collection. This is another double pack on the Nintendo Switch, which contains both Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will-o'-the-Wisps. The Ori games were developed by Moon Studios and published by Xbox Game Studios. Now, whether this is a true sign that Microsoft is going to go third party in the future remains to be seen. So at the moment, Ori the Collection is going for about $110 AUD, and over in the US, it's sitting at about $50 USD. So America has it pretty easy at the moment. It's not super rare over there or super expensive, but over here in Australia, it is something that is a little bit more on the uncommon side of things, and considering that it is a double pack, a duology, this is a game that is worth having in your Nintendo Switch collection. So the third game on this list is Unicorn Overlord. This is another relatively new game that released this year in March of 2024. Unicorn Overlord is a tactical JRPG developed by Vanillaware and published by Atlas. There was a lot of hype for Unicorn Overlord within the JRPG community, and I myself managed to get the collector's edition. I think it's called the Monarch edition. However, in this video, I will only be covering the price for the standard copy of the game. So in regards to the price of Unicorn Overlord, it has bumped up to about $115 AUD, and then over in America, $50 USD. I do apologize to my American viewers if you're not finding much value at the moment, but trust me, please do stick around because some of the later games actually do go up quite a bit for you guys. Coming in at number 4 on this list is Mary Skelter 2. This is a game which was both developed and published by Compile Heart and Idea Factory. Now, the really cool thing with the physical copy of Mary Skelter 2 is that it actually has the first Mary Skelter on the cartridge. So the current going price for Mary Skelter 2 is about $115 AUD, and over in America, it's $55 USD. So once again, it's fairly reasonable for the US folks, but over here in Australia, we actually don't have our own physical copy. We do have to import it from the US or another place in the world, thus adding an extra expense of postage on top of the $115 AUD price. So coming in at number 5, she's back again to save lives, is Atelier Ryza 3, Alchemist of the End and the Secret Key. I don't know if it was me, but that actually sounded like all of that rhymed together. That was amazing. So Atelier Ryza 3 is in fact the final game in the Atelier Ryza secret storyline of games. I do wonder if Ryza will come back in the future under a different moniker with the Atelier Ryza subset of games. We will have to wait and see in regards to that, because Atelier Ryza, the character, and her games have become quite iconic within the JRPG community. The success of Atelier Ryza has really opened up to a lot of people which weren't familiar with the Atelier games before, so it's really good to see a slew of new people come in and try the these games for the first time. So at the moment, Atelier Ryza 3 goes for about $120 AUD, and over in the US it goes for about $80 USD. And it doesn't surprise me that all of the Atelier Ryza games have gone up in value. The Atelier Ryza trilogy of games is going to be astronomical in price within the next 5 to 10 years, I would say, and having that complete set of 3 games in your collection is going to be just one of those JRPG holy grails that you would want to hold on to. So the 6th game on this list is The Legend of Heroes Trails to Azure. This JRPG is a sequel to Trails from Zero and is a part of the Crossbell arc within the Legend of Heroes franchise. Trails to Azure is developed by Nihon Falcom and published by Nippon Ichi Software. This is one of those JRPGs that I actually really want to get into, but I'm also intimidated to play them due to the insane amount of games within the series. And I do realize that there are a lot of hardcore Trail fans who do recommend a specific order when playing through these games, and I'm not sure when I'm going to get stuck into this series for those reasons alone. Over here in Australia, the game goes for about $120 AUD, and over in America, about $85 USD. The pricing of Trails to Azure is very similar to Atelier Ryza 3. I would say that those 2 games will probably go up in price together. It's probably best to pick it up as soon as you possibly can, or else these prices will just keep going up. So coming in at number 7 on this list is THICCness. THICCness is an indie survival horror game that released back in October of 2022. Now I must confess that I'm not really the greatest fan of horror games or spooky, creepy things in my games, but this is one of those exceptions that I decided to pick up because, yeah, I'll admit it, I was kind of drawn to the pixelated anime art style. So maybe THICCness will get me out of my comfort zone and I will actually enjoy a horror-based game for once. Now, having this indie game physically actually has quite a bit of value because at the moment, THICCness is going for about $130 AUD, and over in America, it's about $90 USD. I definitely think that THICCness is something which flew under the radar for a lot of people, and a lot of people just weren't aware of the game's release. So if you do happen to find THICCness for a decent price, or just even at all in the wild, definitely grab a copy because otherwise those prices will just keep going up. Number 8 on this list is Star Ocean: The Second Story R. Now this HD 2.5D remake of Star Ocean: The Second Story R is very reminiscent of Square Enix's other HD 2D remakes from games like Octopath Traveler and the remake of Live Alive. I really do hope that Square Enix goes back to its library of classical JRPGs and brings back things like Xenogears and Chrono Trigger as HD 2D remakes. So the current going prices for Star Ocean: The Second Story R is about $150 AUD and about $65 USD. So that is quite a large leap between both Australia and America. I do believe the American copies of the game are still quite readily available for people over there to buy them. However, the Australian physical release of Star Ocean: The Second Story R is definitely much harder to find, and I can vouch for that as I have not seen any physical copies on store shelves here for many months now. So the second last game on this list is none other than Dead or Alive Extreme 3 Scarlet. Dead or Alive Extreme 3 is a bit of a risque sports game, as you can probably tell from the gameplay footage on screen. Now, there is an assortment of different beach-related and water-based sports within this game, and you play as the many girls and waifus from the Dead or Alive series. Now, this is definitely the type of game that is geared towards people of culture, which includes myself, I won't lie about that, hence why I even have a physical copy in my collection. Now, I haven't actually played Dead or Alive Extreme 3 Scarlet. It's a game that I would like to play one day. It's just something that I think is going to be so stupid and slapstick, and I just... I just think it's the type of game that is perfect for gathering around your friends and having a party. Definitely something you should bring to a party. Yeah. So once again, for very obvious reasons, this game has a relatively large price tag. At the moment for Australians, if you're wanting to buy the game, you will be spending around $180 AUD, and over in America, you guys will be spending about $90 USD. So it's definitely got some high value either way for both regions. And yeah, if you're into cultured Nintendo Switch games, then I highly recommend that you get Dead or Alive Extreme 3 Scarlet. So bringing it back down to earth, on the final game on this list is Digimon World Next Order. And this game in particular is the 6th installment of the Digimon World series. Now back in the day, if you go back to the late 90s and the early 2000s, Digimon was one of the rival competitors for the Pokemon franchise. And I did watch a lot of Digimon on broadcast TV in the morning before I went to school, so having this game physically in my collection is something that's a real treat. So at the moment, Digimon World Next Order is going for about $115 AUD, but over in America, it's around $160 USD. This is the one game on the list which is actually more expensive in America than it is over here in Australia. Now, for whatever reason over in America, I don't know if the game was available just to get on store shelves. I did read some people's experiences online and they were saying that they had to actually order it from the online store. So if that's the case, then I can definitely understand why this game might be more expensive over in America than it is here in Australia. Regardless, I would say that Digimon World Next Order is still a pretty damn rare game to find, and if you do come across it in your travels, you should definitely pick it up. So there you have it, guys. That was another set of 10 Nintendo Switch games which may be rare and within your collection. Also, as a side note, if you do like the content that you saw today, then please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell, as I am on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So until the next time, everybody, Upper Nimbus is signing off.